morning, America or world. God,
As I saw that, what's that guy's name? Good morning, Vietnam. Who was
Robin
it?
Williams, may he
Robin
rest
Williams.
rest in peace. What a funny ass man. So, fuck, man. Another weekend in. We're gonna touch on the URC because really, kind of like fuck all that with the real news. But um, Bulls pulling one out. They're at the very end, playing like
Yeah,
absolute shit for 80 minutes, and then finally scoring to win the game.
yeah, that was a fucking lucky game, mate.
Sharks. Fuck.
Oh, they looked on form, but I mean that's what happens when you got so many Springboks.
Yeah. They are they back? I kind of pose the question, are they back, or is this just because they're playing
No,
at home with all those Springboks?
I don't think they're back because once all those Springboks goes on tour, I think the
Fucked again.
Sharks is going to struggle.
Fucked again.
Honestly,
Um,
and they got a shit coach. We know we both feel that way. So
Speaking of shit coaches on the hot seat over in the Western Cape, beautiful crowd. Danny Craven. I love that fucking stadium. I want to visit so bad. It's so beautiful. But coming out and playing like absolute shit, and a lot of people questioning John Dobson. And unfortunately, we'll lead into it here in a moment. We have to touch on the Lions Leinster game. I've gotten an argument. That was our B team. That was Leinster's B team. I'm like, motherfucker, you have a 2-time World Cup winner starting at lock. That's not a fucking B team. And the Lions look good for 40 minutes. They looked real fucking good, and then obviously it kind of fell apart. But what we'll segue into is he was announced, and then he went and got fucking injured, and that is Damian Falemza, the fullback.
Yeah.
Center groin injury, so he has been removed from the tour. And
it's sad, mate.
let's
Fossey's been all those. I'm not too concerned.
Fossey and Villy. I mean, Villy really has been like putting his hand up and being like, "Look, guys, I'm not done yet. I'm not done." And it's like, okay, so I don't think it's a huge loss. I was just excited to see Valemza with this new style offense, but we'll have to wait a bit longer. So let's kind of go through the list, and we'll mention some things as we go. But the props, obviously, Thomas the engine Dutoy playing up in Bath was man of the match yesterday. Actually, Vincent Kolk, Vilko Low, Franz Malherba, Oxenche, and Gerhard Steenkamp, who continues to impress me. Hookers, we're going to be going with Johan Grobler from the Bulls, Malcolm Marks, and Bongi Manombi. Absolutely nothing new there. Ebenetzebeth, of course. Seuss is back. Franco Muster is back from injury after the broken leg.
I'm fucking happy about that, mate.
So am I. Ruan Norkia, who's still doing great, and
he was doing great as well.
Audie Stemmen, who is fucking absolutely lighting it up in Leinster right now.
Yeah.
Peter Stuff,
but he's more like a 4, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean, you'll have Eben and him together, and then you'll have Ruan and Sos on 5.
I actually would prefer Eben and Sos, and then Ruan and Arhi. That would
but that's what I'm saying. I mean, like from the 2 4s and the 2 5s. That's what I'm referring to.
It's going to be great. Peter Stuff to tackle. Sia Khaleesi captaining the side once again, playing number 8 yesterday for the Sharks. That was a bit weird.
Okay, wait. What did you say? Peter Stuff to tackle.
What's his name? Peter Stuff to tackle.
I love it. That's
what he's known for. I mean, 29 in a fucking game. I mean, come on. Yeah.
You know my opinion about that, mate. You know what I'm saying is that the unsung hero was Quagga in that match.
He came out and put out a shitload in half the time. we get Sia Khaleesi, Elric Lowe, Quagga Smith, of course, Marco van Staden, Escom himself, Jesper Visa, and due to injury, I'd claimed I was going to riot in the streets. I like to think that Rassi saw that.
Rassi heard you, mate. He knew the moment you said you were going to go and fuck shit up in Texas. He was like, let's not have that happen. Come on, Willem sir, please fake an injury. We need to get Honeycomb in the team. We need to make sure that Texas remains standing, and let's bring him in. That's what happened.
Good evening, Margaret. So yeah, Cameron Honeycomb, who
hello, Margaret.
I had put on a balaclava and made a video and everything saying if I didn't see him, there was going to be riots. So obviously somebody heard something. Scrum
Yeah.
halves will get Jaden Hendrickse, Kobus Reineck, and Grant Williams.
Yes.
Manny Libok looked good yesterday, despite the loss, with Andre Pollard being our fly half replacements.
I love how you say that as the replacement.
The replacements. Yeah. Dialendi, Esterhazen, who had a hell of a game as well, and Jesse Creel will be our centers. And then outside backs, Kurt Lorenza, Fossey, who's fucking killing it right now, Cheslin Colby, Billy LaRue, Makazole Mapipi, who's also another old guy that put his hand up and said, hey, look, I'm not done yet, guys. Kanan Moody, and no Damian Falenza. So not really anything other than Hanekom and Mustard back. Not really a huge. I mean, without Sasha, obviously he's injured.
Yeah, but we expected that for a while ways.
I thought Ben Jason Dixon, but I found out he's also injured as well. That's why he didn't make the squad.
It's not like we have any loose forward problems anyway at the moment.
Well, I have an older follower, Swanee, and he actually did the whole breakdown of like the ages these guys are.
Yeah.
We need to start blooding young guys in. And I guess there was an article that came out in SA Rugby Mag yesterday saying that we might have already seen 3 guys don. First one we already know, Trevor Nakane.
Yep.
He's 35. He's done.
Yeah, he's not going to the World Cup, man.
Jean Klein. And after what I've seen out of Munster the last 2 weeks, I tend to agree. We don't really need him anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, Ruan Norkia is playing a fucking his socks off. So and Sous is back, and so is RG Snyman. So we actually looking good for locks at the moment as well.
The third one was the big shock for me in the article, and Foff de Klerk.
Why is it a shock to you? We both said on previous podcasts that we don't expect him to go to the next World Cup.
Well, but I didn't think he was done with the Boks. I mean, there's a lot of guys on here. Philly is not going to the next World Cup, but I kind of thought Foff make it back in. But I mean, to be completely honest with you, the number one complaint we've had since the World Cup is that Tony Brown style offense, Foff doesn't work with it. It's not.
He's great on defense, but he doesn't really set up the offense as well as what some other players do. So and that is obviously the concern that we've got. 100%.
We need an attack. We've got that with Grant and Hendrick, though. We've got an attack. And Kobus.
Hendrick's impressed me the fuck out of me, bro. Like, Hendrick's, like, he impressed the fuck out of me. Like, the way he's been playing. Like, since he's back. Like Jaden's just, like, doing some good things.
And, like, as much as I support the Hauteng Lions and whatnot, I think Jordan's best move he's ever made is moving to the Sharks because he's absolutely at home there. And obviously playing with your brother doesn't hurt either. But so any outside of obviously injuries and whatnot, are there any? I wanted Ruben Van Heerden. I talked to him a bit on Instagram, and he's just like, look at the guys being selected in front of me. I'm not upset about that. Those guys are all really good. So was there anybody else that you were really, really hoping that you were going to see get called into this? Because I have a few.
I mean, we mentioned a few that we'd like to see blooded, in our last podcast. But, I mean, who I really wanted was Hanekom.
Me too.
Okay? So, because I don't know. Look, it might be one of those situations like with old Frikkie from Western Province, right? Where he comes into the fold and he really doesn't do anything. Okay, so it could be that, but at least then we've established, that whether or not he's going to fit into that role or not. Okay, but I mean, he really plays his socks off like for the Bulls, and I really wanted to see him do something, and I'm happy to see that we're giving him the opportunity, and I really do hope that we do give him a shot, like not just for touring and training against and shit like that. You know what I mean? I really want him to actually get a shot at a game and not 10 minutes either, you know? Like really give him an opportunity against somebody like that second tier team we're facing. Who's that again? Wales.
That's kind of the thing I wanted to bring up too, is because of who we're playing. Like, I'm not worried really. The only team that I think could give us any trouble is England,
Yeah.
but not much.
Yeah.
And I was hoping with that being the case on this Northern tour that we'd get to see like Edville van der Merwe. Like we'd get to see some of these guys that are still kind of fresh and new. Obviously, Jan Hendrik Vessels was a part of that, but he got injured. But that's how I looked at it. I was like, man, if we're going to blood kids, here's the perfect opportunity to do it because we're not playing a very tough schedule and we're only playing 3 games. The All Blacks are playing 5. Most of the teams are playing 4 and 5 games. We're playing 3.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Obviously, it's test rugby. We're we're 15 days away.
Yeah, man. I'm so flipping excited, bro. Like,
I'm more pissed that everybody else gets to play before we do.
yeah, fuck. I mean, of course. Like, who cares about a New Zealand Japan game? Honestly, I mean, I couldn't even see it. I actually went to go look for it online. Okay, and they didn't show it on SuperSport. Well, I couldn't find it on SuperSport anyways.
It was
On
on
any of the SuperSport channels.
It was on Sky.
So I was like, oh fuck, mate. I actually wanted to see it just to see how they were going. And I think the reasoning behind it was I was like scrolling through YouTube, okay, and some of the guys came up, and it looked like Japan was ahead of like New Zealand at that stage, right? On like his like bit of a fucking image here behind him or whatever, right? So I thought, okay, man, Japan must be playing their socks off, okay. So and that's why I wanted to go like just check it out.
Yeah.
All right, but I mean, it went the way we expected it to go, isn't it?
Well, let me tell you, as somebody who did watch the game, because
Yeah.
I did, they're not going to win every game on this Northern tour.
But we knew that before.
Because guess what happened in the Japan game? That has happened in every single game.
They ran out of gas last 20 minutes.
They fell apart in the last 20 minutes of the game.
I didn't even watch the game, and I expected that.
Same shit, different day. You got Razor with his smirk, like they just really accomplished something beating Japan. I think the funniest part though was, I guess apparently beforehand, Eddie Jones has said this was going to be the best Japanese game versus the All Blacks ever, and then they got fucking apps. And I gotta say something about Eddie Jones, man. Like, I'm from that generation where you respect your elders. Like, man, Eddie Jones is 93 years old, okay? Like, I saw that guy the other day. He told me he was 102 years old. Eddie Jones is the Joe Biden of rugby coaches.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, he had a great run. He won
Yeah.
with us as an assistant, you know,
Yep.
but that
And
man
he did a good thing with Japan in 2015.
Yeah, that man is 117 years old. You show him some respect, okay? Like,
But every time you say his age, it's like 10 years more. We're gonna end off at 170 just now.
he told me he was 141 years old, dude. His social insurance number is 3.
Yeah.
I
No,
found
fair
I found
enough.
a boyhood picture of him, man. He was hanging out with Jesus, man.
Was it etched on stone?
No, it's like I called it. I didn't, I had to screenshot the WhatsApp. I called Eddie being in Japan as soon as he got to Australia. Like, I'm like, he's
Yeah.
here for a bit. He'll be in Japan. How do you know? How do you know? Well, his wife is from there. That's one. Like,
Yeah.
is he good for Japan? Honestly, I don't care. Like, I really don't.
You know what? Honesty is the best policy, mate, and I also don't give a shit. So I honestly couldn't be bothered. To be quite frank. Look, I mean, they did well in the 2019 World Cup, okay, because they beat some of those really like teams that you would never expect them to beat.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat us in 2015. Woo, fucking nobody expected them to beat.
Yeah.
So they had a bit of a good run, but to be quite frank, I don't think, barring them getting players from all other countries, I don't think they can put like a force together, um, purely because the people also that they're putting together in that team is based off other countries where they didn't make the main team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're not first rated players. Okay, so what they did with what they had, great for them. But I don't think they're going to ever really be competitive in a World Cup or anything to that effect. To be quite frank.
So when I visited Tonga, they have a boarding school in Nuwakafala. It's a Japanese boarding school.
Yeah, you told me that. Yeah,
And they basically, when you go there, that means your kid has to play for Japan. Like it's
yeah,
like they're doing. I don't want to offend. They're doing what the All Blacks and the Aussies do. They're
yeah,
poaching Pacific Island players, and I
yeah.
mean, hey, you do what you need to do. Hey, if we get Shatuka on our roster, we can say we're poaching the Democratic Republic of Congo for players. So I
Yeah.
mean, we poach Zimbabwe for a player with
Yeah.
bees.
Yeah, the beast.
Although it's funny, he's very, very proudly Zimbabwean, but he will say, "Yeah, I'm a Springbok." It's like cool, man, whatever. But
Yeah.
so we talked about our roster. I do want to bring up the All Blacks with one
Yeah,
change.
I don't know where that came from. Yeah.
One
For what?
Cam Roygaard rejoined the side, and they think that's going to be like we're going to be competitive. And I'm like, dude, no. You still have Damian McKenzie. They played fucking Sam Kane. What the fuck is that guy still even dressing for at this point?
Dude, you know my opinion about Sam Kane. I think he should have retired and stayed retired. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like he doesn't really bring any tenacity to the team. Nothing.
He
I
brings
mean,
nothing at this point to the team.
you have a look at somebody like Sia, for instance, right? And it might just be maybe because of the way we play rugby now, where we much more include our flankers, right? So especially on the outside channels. Um, I mean, I watched a video the other day where it's basically said, like, I think Sia Khaleesi had like one carry in the World Cup, okay, like per game.
Yeah.
Now he's got 8 per game, around
Because
about,
it's Tony
okay,
Brown. It's the Tony Brown
because of
effect.
the way they play them. Yeah, and I mean, if you have a look at that one game that he played, I think it was against Ireland, where he fucking deck chaired that one, right, the one center.
Yeah.
Okay, that to me is how your number 6 should play. Okay, and I just feel Sam Kane doesn't do that, right, at all whatsoever.
But maybe not to defend the guy. Like we've said this before, Sia Khaleesi is not the best flanker on the planet,
Yeah,
but he makes the people around him much better. And maybe that's what makes a good captain. And maybe that's what Sam Kane does. We just don't know it. Like I,
well, I don't know. I
I,
don't think Sam Kane is a good captain, and I don't think he's a good number 6 neither. I
I
think they've since the other guys like stepped down. Um, they've really not been in a position where they had that inspirational player that can lead them to victory. You know what I mean?
well, I mean, I think we all thought it was going to be Artie Savea.
Yeah.
And then after this recent run with the rugby championship and everything, you
Yeah.
realize no, it's not Artie Savea. He's not a captain.
I didn't think Ardy was a captain even before that. You know how I was complaining about his flusteredness. You know,
We talked about
whenever like they were under the pump, he always seemed like he was,
what?
he wasn't being able to handle it. And
No, not a red. Yeah, like it was. Yeah, you could just tell he wasn't really.
yeah, he was. To me, he wasn't ever that person. Look, he plays a great game. Don't get me wrong. I think he must still go back to like flank position. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
Right? I don't think he's an 8th man. He's not as imposing as what he used to be on the 8th man position. So I think he would rather play flank. But from a captain perspective, I really don't think he's up there. Um, up to the level of what New Zealand requires to really pull them out of that funk.
Well, they
Because he
had
gets flustered so easily.
Patrick Tupelotu was the captain of the Japanese game, and I mean
Yeah,
he's captain for the Blues, so he's used to it. But
yeah,
I don't want to sit here and talk about the All Blacks because that's not what we are, and they're going to do their thing, and they're going to
yeah,
continue all blacking while we continue winning and springbocking. So
yeah,
the 3 games we've got Scotland, England, and Wales. Decent start times, not too bad. For me, 10 a.m. and then 2 at almost midday, which means
yeah,
it'll be afternoon and evening games for you guys.
yeah, yeah. It's not too bad.
What what would you like to see? I had said 3-0 and not just victories, but decisive. Like I want to beat each of these teams by at least 20 points.
Look, man, my thoughts is okay based on what team selection Rossi did. Okay, he obviously decided no more tinkering. Okay, no more fucking around and like playing around with players and whatnot. We're going to take people that we know can do the job. Okay, and I mean each one of those, like even when you read that roster, okay, you would be fine with any one of them starting,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
no question, no
So
question.
I mean, it's really it's a well-rounded, well-oiled team that, and even the people, the players that's not had so many caps before, like your Grobbelaar and those type of oaks, right? You still expect them to fuck shit up on the field because you've seen the way they play and you've seen the way they like match up to other players. So you already know they're going to do the job. Okay. So, I mean, the only person that's I guess, a bit of a tryout at the moment is Arnicom. Okay. And to be quite frank, if Arnicom plays even remotely the way he plays for the Bulls, he's going to definitely fuck some people up. Right. He's gonna.
Do you think they play him at flank or 8?
I think they need to play him at 8, mate. We don't really have a backup 8. Not much. Okay.
No,
Because you got Low.
it's
No, who
Jasper,
left?
Evan the
Jasper?
Rose, Elric Lowe would be it, but
Alex Low, yeah.
he's more of a better flanker in my
Yeah.
opinion, at least.
Yeah.
Um,
So, I mean, who do you have? You have Jasper Visa. Okay. We know what Jasper Visa can do. Okay. We know what he's about. Okay.
Capable of,
And
yes.
we know at the end of the day, Arasi has said so before that he is a specialist, like he's like a project player. Okay, Jasper Visa. Okay. So he's an out and out number 8. Okay. Hanekom, on the other hand, could fit in that loose like forwards. Okay. So give him a shot at 8 and see what he does. Okay. And maybe later on try him at a flank or whatever. Let's see what he does. Okay. But I mean, I'd really like for them to give Hanekom a shot. That's the first thing. I would
Versus
expect
Wales,
I
versus
would
Wales.
expect nothing less than a 3 win. Okay.
Yeah, nothing anything less than that is unacceptable in my opinion.
Based
Especially
on the team that we selected,
yeah, the competition too. It's unacceptable. Nothing but 3
yeah,
wins. Uh,
100%. So I wouldn't expect anything less than that, or accept anything less than that. And then, yeah, I'd just like to see more of the same. I would like to see, like, what the tinkering that they've done behind the scenes to really fill out that Tony ball, as some people would call it.
yeah.
Okay, I'd like to see that really come to fruition where it's successfully applied with the forward dominating game, um, in like a successful way, if I can put it that way, right? Because our defense is the best. Okay, our offense at the moment is looking dangerous as shit, right? So if you can get those two really gel well together, that's what I'd really like to see. And in some of the games, he did gel together well. Okay, but I mean, if we take a look at that second Irish game when we went back to like that normal like defensive structure,
Won us the 2023 World Cup. Yeah,
yeah,
they
you
beat
know.
us. Yeah.
So I'd like for us to really, win
With
resounding.
Yeah, with that Scotland game, I do have to bring up another thing, which is I trying to figure out a way to say this where I don't sound like an ass, but there's really not any way
Go
to.
for it, mate. I can't be the only ass on you.
That's a really odd Scottish accent their captain has.
But
You
that's
know who their
Paul
captain is?
Skinny Oak. That's a lock
No, their
for
their
Scotland.
their captain is now Tupelotu.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I
That's a
actually
really
haven't.
odd Scottish accent that guy has. It almost sounds like an Aussie. Oh yeah, 'cause that's what he is. When
Yeah,
when they made that Six Nations series for Netflix,
yeah,
I noticed that real quick when it came to like Ireland and Scotland.
yeah,
Those odd accents, they kept them in the background. They didn't put them in front of the camera. But oh no, when it
yeah.
got to Italy, it was the guy from Zimbabwe that they had in front of the camera the whole time. Like, look, man, look, we've gone through this on here time and time
Yeah.
again. Like, I don't give a shit if you bring people over to your country to play for
Yeah.
you that are not for your country. But don't you fucking dare sit there with a straight face and try to say, "Oh, they're Scottish." No, they're fucking not.
Yeah. 100%.
Gibson
We've had that conversation before. He's
Gibson
fucking Kiwi, mate.
Oh, those guys are not fucking Irish guys. They're Kiwis. They're from New
Yeah.
Zealand. Bundy Aki just got his citizenship. Don't
Yeah.
fucking sit here and sugarcoat it. Don't sit here and say, "Oh, well, they qualified via residency." Yeah, but don't say that they're Irish because
Yeah.
they're not. Clearly. I don't have like, and then they'll be like, "Oh, do you think Duhan van der Merwe was a missed out Springbok?" Fuck no. He could have never made the Springboks. Fuck. I don't care that he goes. He doesn't. At least with Duhan van der Merwe, he doesn't say he's Scottish.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, just a
And he
personal.
doesn't sound it either.
You know, just a personal opinion on all that. Like, I don't give a shit if you do that, but don't get up there and lie. Don't get up there and say, "Oh, well, his mom's from Ireland." Yeah, he has a Wallabies U20s cap. He's not from fucking Ireland. He's Australian. From Australia. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm Canadian and I live in America. Doesn't make me American. You know, like I'm an American citizen. Speaking of which, what is today? Tomorrow will be 2 years since I got
That
it.
you've become a citizenship.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we had a homework assignment. Dr. Pierre here gave us a homework assignment, and I hate to say it, much like I guess you guys call it your metric there. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really the most studious of pupils in school. I
Yeah.
why don't you tell everybody? You tell everybody. It was you. You tell what you requested.
Well, I wanted us to just like to explain it in layman's terms. All right. Put together the most aggressive fucking team that we can. All right. That from Springbok players that played for the Springboks in the past. And we're not taking current form players. We're taking of all time based on if they were on their form. Just the most fearsome team that nobody would want to fucking face, right? So it's not about them being the best position in their position in all time. Okay, it's just pure mean motherfucking players. That's all I wanted. Like just like when they step out in the field, it's like you're a high school fucking class that's out there on the field, and you see a bunch of cops coming onto the field, all with fucking hammers and shit. Like they're gonna just beat the fuck out of you today. Like that's what I wanted us just to like put a few players on paper and see just who we think would really make that team, and just have everybody else in the world be like, fuck this. I'm out of the World Cup. I'm not facing that fucking team. I don't give a shit if we win or not. that guy's gonna end my fucking career. Top shit. Okay.
I was able to get 9 positions filled, and there's a 10th that like I wanted to put, but I couldn't, but I have to bring it
Yeah.
up. So I'm gonna start off with my number 1.
Go for it, mate.
And was he vicious? I mean, I would have never wanted to go toe to toe with him. And it's of our generation, technically. Osterent. Osterent. Just because. Did you ever look at that guy's hands?
Yeah.
He had fucking boulders. Dude.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's been a number of fucking very aggressive players in the past, right? Playing for the Springboks. There's some of them that played like 3 games,
Oh, I've
and
got
because of their aggressiveness, they just didn't fucking like get selected again, right? Because they just fucking got cards from when they started. And but yeah, I can see that. I wouldn't want to face him. Fucking no.
So who was your? That was the only prop or hooker I picked. What was your front row? Who was your 3 meanest motherfuckers?
Dean Greyling.
Oh shit! Oh,
okay. He played like I think 3 games for the Springboks.
No, I was like 1 or 2, right?
Yeah, and he was just aggressive as shit. So, I mean, yeah, I thought him is as 1. My number 2 I've got as James Dalton.
Oh fuck.
Man, that guy just fucked everybody up. And like even off the field, he just fucked everybody up. He was just one of those guys, bro. He just liked to fight, eh? So, but like the coolest dude, like, you know, when you see him, but you know that guy's gonna fuck you up. You just know it. You're gonna say something wrong, he's fucking you up. That's just how it is.
And then who was your other front row guy?
Johan Leroux.
Oh shit, man. Dude, you know what all 3 of those guys have in common? There are caged animals that got uncaged when they played.
100%.
Christ.
So I know you've got your 4 and 5 as fucking the same as me, mate. It has to be.
Actually not. Probably not. So the first one I had to go back into history.
Yeah.
Old history.
Go for
and it. I don't know if he was tough, but his fucking story was insane. Okay. A childhood accident had caused him to lose an eye. Okay. Yeah. So he had a glass eye. His name was Johan de Bruin. He had his glass eye come out on 2 separate occasions in games. And guess what this guy would do? Pop the fuck back in and keep going. Tell me that isn't fucking scary in itself.
Yeah, I don't know. If you get used to that type of scenario, then I guess, you know. Shit, but I mean, for sure, that's a tough guy. Don't get me wrong. I do say
that. Out and put it back in.
But I just don't think, like, if he's your number 4, I just don't think he's got quite that abrasive game style and aggressiveness and just fucking thuggery and
come on, we already know what number 5 is. We
as
both
what Rocky's Puerta fucking did, mate. Like, come on.
We share a birthday. We share a birthday. Me and Bakis have the same birthday, 22nd of September. Bakis was. We all have our favorite stories. I think mine is the headbutt.
Yeah, of course. On that New Zealander, like fucking for sure. So Bucky's, I've got 4 and 5. I've got Bucky's and Eben. All right.
I mean, no, both scary as fuck. Both scary.
100%. Look, I mean, I've watched some videos of a guy that, like, he said, in his opinion, Mark Andrews, okay, was quite a fucking thug in his time as well. But I just think, like, if we had to make a current team and you put together, like, people that you know you're going to go to battle with, like these guys, all of them at one stage or another, just don't give a fuck, right, about the rules of rugby. They just wanted to, like, fucking go at another guy, right? So I think for that 5 position, I would put Eben Etzebeth there.
Real question. Do you think Eben could control Bakis?
Honestly, I have no idea, but I do think Eben can take him. If it was a fight, I think Eben can take him.
I just think Bakis, because they're both just pure creatures of testosterone.
Yeah.
Like I don't think either of them ever have to worry about, not being able to perform because those motherfuckers are nothing but testosterone. Well,
Yeah,
maybe
100%.
Bucky's not so much now because he's gotten, a
Yeah.
bit overweight. But um, when it came to flankers, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do an honorable mention because I felt
Go for
bad
it.
not doing that, and that would be Skulkberger.
Okay.
Because
Is he the honorable mention?
yes,
Because I
yes.
fucking selected him.
Okay, I went with a guy who my very first game watching '95, who I
Yep.
pointed at and was like, "Who's that guy?"
Yep.
Unfortunately, he passed away. Ruben Kruger
Okay.
was a mean motherfucker, and I went with a guy off the '99 Cup team who had some discipline issues. Andre Venter. Those were
Oh,
my two.
snap, yeah. Yeah, no. I
Venter,
was gonna
Venter was a
like
mean.
honorably mention Andre Fenton myself,
Yeah,
but I've got two people where they were just like thugs on the game, right? And that
Skalkberger.
is Staltberger and Corne Krieger.
Fuck. Yeah,
He's knocked a few people out, eh? Like I've checked it. So that one where he got that swinging arm and he knocked out his own fucking player as well. Like 100%. So and he also Corne Krieger was also the guy. Look, he played mostly 6, but he sometimes played 7 as well.
yeah.
Like he was the guy that knocked out that fucking New Zealand player, like that scrum off, I think it was. Like
Yeah.
he's the one that grabbed him and fucking clotheslined him or whatever. Like he just fucking knocked him the fuck out, right? So that's who I've got there, in that position.
I
Yeah,
had
well, two positions.
eventually gone back to old timer who had told me that there was a player back in like the 70s or 80s that had actually killed somebody.
Sure.
Not on the field. Like it was he was a farmer and somebody was on his farm and he killed them. And I was just like, holy shit. He's like, yeah, he actually killed somebody. Just like, damn. Or the amount, or the funny part was is the amount of them
What's up, Munster rugby guy?
the amount of them that I found out that were doctors and shit from back in the day, and you're just like, that guy was a doctor. What?
Yeah.
For number 8, there was only one guy I could pick that wasn't Dwayne Vermeulen,
And
he was a huge, huge man, and that's Pierre Spies, man.
yeah, man.
Fucking massive.
He was not really a fighter, okay?
But he could.
Like a thug in itself. He wasn't a thug.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to put on a team that's like just scares the shit out of people, oh, the space you got to select.
Yeah. Who did you pick at number 8?
That's small.
Fuck.
I actually, when I watched the other video of the other guy, I had to go check out these guys and what they did and how they played. And man, I gotta agree with that guy. This Gert Small was kicking ass and taking names, mate. Like he was an aggressive player.
I'm willing to bet we both have the same 9.
I don't know. I took somebody quite current on.
Oh, really?
Like on 9. Yeah, and that's purely because of his temper.
I picked him because he could tackle and tackle well, and unfortunately, we had the best.
Shall I say rest in peace?
Yeah, used, of course, just because I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I do want to bring up something real quick. Okay, so obviously Rachel and Sia are getting a divorce, and when that shit went public, I was kind of one of those people that was like, "Is that really any of our fucking business?"
Yeah.
When they brought Eust out towards the end of his life and put him on camera, I felt like that was insanely disrespectful.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Because I didn't like seeing him like that. That shit was sad.
Yeah.
That shit was sad. Him and the other guy on my list, same kind of thing. That like guys that died of like these neuro diseases, they parade them out, and I'm like, dude, let him have some fucking dignity, man. Like, don't do an interview where all he's doing is just mumbling and whine. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. You know my opinion about that shit, mate. Like even when they came out attacking Rusty about his stuff and what.
Yeah.
Like leave the people the fuck alone, mate. Like they're human beings after all. Okay. It's got nothing to do with us. Okay. They've got some issues. Okay. So fucking what? Okay. That when they're on the rugby field, okay, that's where we can root for them and we can like in their personal lives. Their personal lives have got nothing to do with us. If they want to share that with us, who are we to judge, mate? Who are we to say, oh, yeah, you did this or that happened?
Yeah.
Like, we don't even know, like, what type of fucking stress they're under, okay? We're just normal human beings, and we struggle with the temptations of Facebook. Come on, bro. Like, leave these fucking people alone.
That's like the thing about with the whole Rachel and Sia thing is like, look, you know that Sia has more on his plate than most people could even comprehend. Like, not only are you the captain of a national team, you're an ambassador for a nation and a sport. Like, you know,
a lot of stress on them.
Well, like, yeah, like that. Of course, there's going to be, but I still guarantee you, 100%, Christmas time, family photos, they're both going to be in the photo. He's not.
Yeah.
I don't think it was. I don't want to speculate. I don't think it was infidelity. I think what it was she basically said, "Hey, look, I can't do this bouncing around shit anymore. I'm going to stay in one place." And he was like,
Yeah,
"Okay."
look, it's probably that, okay? And because I mean, they have been like up and down, up and down. They went to France, they came back. They, like, it's then you normally in Western Province. Now you're in fucking KZN. Like,
Yeah.
it's like it's a different lifestyle, that, mate. So I mean, we can't really comment on that, to be honest. I don't even fucking care. Okay.
None of my goddamn
It's not
business.
that I don't care, but I don't care. It's like, thank you for sharing that, but I mean, dude, you do you. You know what I mean? Like, you sort your shit out. Okay. So
If
I
it
mean,
starts
I had
affecting
Kobus
your
right now.
play, if it affects your play,
Yeah.
then we're gonna have a problem. But
Yeah, 100%.
So you had Kobus Ronick as your 9.
Yeah. Just because of his temper, mate. He's got a temper with other players, eh?
I feel like it's gotten less the older he's gotten, though. But that's what
he
happens.
still looks fucking angry, bro. Like, all the time. He's like the Hulk. He doesn't like. His secret is just that he's always angry. So it's like, but I don't know. Like, I just had to select someone, and be quite frank, the back line is quite fucking difficult to select on that scenario.
I did not select a single backline player because the scenario was just too, like, I'm like, okay, like,
Yeah.
Brian Habana, but was he really mean? No, he was just, when he got jacked, he was big, but he wasn't necessarily mean.
So I've got the rest of the back line except for the one wing.
Okay.
And I was hoping that you're gonna bail me out there. But anyways, number 10, Butch James.
No question. Yeah, no, agree.
Right? Because I mean, he was a unit himself, right? And he, like, in the beginning of his career, he like fucking shit up, eh? Like, dirty player as well sometimes. So Butch James all the way. 11, I don't know. I couldn't think. Like, I was also like, when I watched other people's videos, they were like Kurtley Orense and this guy and that guy. And I'm like, no, man, that guy's not too. He's not, to me, that imposing player, right? But I do have a 14, by the way. But we'll get there.
Okay.
Number 12, like, I wasn't sure which one to select, but I know Damien Delende has got quite a fucking temper as well on the field.
I've heard stories from his school days, and apparently, like, he went to a rough fucking school.
Yeah. So I had him, but I had an honorary mention there, Brendan Venter.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Okay, my number 13. It's the Giant, mate. Purely because of his physical stature, right? He can fuck shit up. Andre Esterhuizen.
Yeah,
Who else was I going to select on 13? That's the problem.
Yeah, he looks. I mean, I would put Jesse Creel. I mean, because look at how cut that is. But he's not big. He's not imposing, though.
If those two, like, going into fights, like, separately, right?
Yeah.
Like, against other players, I just think Andre Esterhuizen would, like, he would injure people.
I have this tendency to believe that, like, when we see the fights, it's always the forward guys. I think if backs currently with what we have, I think it would be a Lendy or Esterhuizen who would be in the middle of that shit more than
100%.
likely, which is crazy because that's what we expect from our center.
Yeah. My number 14. Let's see if you can guess.
More than or less than 10 caps?
More than 10 caps.
Oh, God.
but more than 15 years ago.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Not Peterson, is it? No? Oh, man.
James Small.
Dude, I would have never guessed that.
James fucking Small, man. Rest in peace, bro. Like,
Yeah.
he was an aggressive fucking wing, mate. Like, he played angry rugby, right? Like, he was, like, in your face all the time.
I want to hold on. I need to look up his because I don't remember how big he actually was. Hold on. Thank God for the internet in your hand. Because I remember he. Jesus. Let's see. 6'1", 89K. Yeah, that's a big fucking body. Yeah, 47 caps. Okay, yeah, he was on that World Cup era. Yeah. Like, I was thinking, like, early 2000s, not 90s.
Yeah, no.
God. From Cape Town. Of course he is from Cape Town.
And then I didn't really know who to select on number 15. Look, at the one, I was torn, okay? Because on the one hand, you got somebody like Willie Leroux, right? Which is a hothead. He can never shut the hell up, right? He always has to talk at the refs and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But then you had somebody like Percy Montgomery, who was a little bit more physically imposing. Okay, and so
Damn, Percy was just I always felt like Percy was a pretty boy.
Yeah, but go check some of his games, mate.
No. I'm not denying that he's great. I always pick him as my 15, but like it's you know what it is, man. It's because I've got a bald spot and I'm jealous of that luxurious mane that man had. You talk about Fof's hair. No, you need to go back and look at peak Percy Montgomery. That was better than Foff before Foff. Like that guy had like the just most bitchin' haircut.
Then, who was the most aggressive coach you can remember?
Aggressive or insane?
Like fucking shouting at the microphone, like going red in his face, going mal. Like he might be somebody closer to home than what you can think. Closer to your neck of the woods, broski.
Would it be Jake?
Not anymore though, but I mean he was closer to your neck of the woods.
Aniki Meyer?
Aniki Meyer, bro.
He's
coach
back
of the fucking aggressive fucking team. Come on.
Okay, so that was kind of the thing when he was here and we knew we were looking for a new USA Eagles coach. I never talked to him personally, but one of the players in MLR, his dad, they live in Houston, and he was the one that told me, he's like, I don't know what happened, but Heineke doesn't have that in him anymore. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, dude, he's very soft-spoken now. And I'm like, I guess maybe age did it to him. But yeah, dude, like, he's a polarizing coach. You either
remember, we're speaking here of peak everybody. Okay? So why not peak Heineke? Why would you take him as current?
Dude, I would love to get the before photo of before he coached the Springboks and after. I'm willing to bet you it's like a U.S. president. He had more gray when he left. That guy was fucking. Which was really funny when Pote Human got in a fist fight at an MLR game and got suspended. I remember when that happened, and I was like, man, if this was 15 years ago, that would have been Heineke fighting that guy.
Yeah.
Like he would have got out and like slapped the guy and fought him. And it's just man. Did you like him as a coach though?
Nah, not for the Springboks. It was fine elsewhere. I mean, look, we have to bear in mind, I mean, we're very spoiled for choice at the moment in terms of from or not spoiled for choice, but like we've got the best coach in the history of the Springboks, in my opinion. And that's current. Okay.
What the hell is Peter de Villiers doing right now?
Who fucking gives a shit?
Didn't he get in like some legal trouble and shit?
I honestly don't know. I do not follow him whatsoever.
I've heard stories, and apparently, like, he really didn't coach that team. I think I just coached themselves. He was
Captain's run every day. Come on, go.
Like I'm just like, are you? God, he's one of the. When we think back, because how many we can go, but we can go Rassi, Jacques, Rassi, Kutsia, Heineke. Is that who Heineke replaced? Kutsia replaced Heineke, Meyer, De Villiers, Jake White. I don't remember who was before that.
Who is now at Namibia?
That's Alistair Kutsia.
That's Kutsia, eh?
Yeah. Because it was Kitch Christie in '95, right? That was '95 was Kitch Christie. I don't remember. Shit, I'm actually gonna look that up.
Yeah, I can't remember who all the coaches were, mate.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, we know it's Rassi, Jock, Rassi. Okay. So it's Rassi, Jock, Rassi, Kutsia, Heineke, Peter De Villiers, Jake White, a guy that coached Rudolph Struley.
Strowley, yeah. I forgot about him, mate. Thanks, Gottfried. I appreciate
it. So we had
that helps us.
Kitch Christie, Mark Markgraf for 13 games, Duplessis for 8 games, Nick Mallett. We all remember Nick Mallett.
Mallet. How could we forget Mallet?
And then there was a guy between Mallett and Strowley for like 15 games.
Yeah.
Harry, don't tell me, is his kid?
Harry Houdini, was it?
VILJ.
VIL?
Viljoen? I don't know how you would say that. VILJOEN.
Viljoen.
Yeah. I want to say his son plays in New Zealand. He's a scrum half for the Hurricanes.
Okay.
And then that's it. Yeah. Jake White, De Villiers, Heineke, Kutsia.
Where's De Villiers?
What's up?
Check for us where's the De Villiers now? Peter De Villiers. Who's he coaching now?
He was a good party politician.
Yeah.
From till 2024. I was a member of the provincial parliament for Cape Town until 2024.
I thought he maybe coaches some netball team somewhere in fucking middle something.
No, I mean, well, I told you. I don't know if I told you. Not Nosbuta.
Yeah, India.
Yeah, he's head coach of the Indian national team.
Yeah, that still fucking blows my mind.
Somewhere. Yeah. Well,
like I honestly didn't know they played rugby, mate. Like honestly, like I
said, Razor Robertson coaching Brazil. Like
yeah. Like you think Brazil, you think soccer, right?
Yeah,
football.
Definitely. They're so, but
yeah.
Like you don't really think about that stuff big time. Like you don't think like people like, hey, who's the head coach of the USA? Scott Lawrence, because I live here. Who's the head coach of Canada? Kingsley Jones, like because I live here, you know. But like, like you know who Alistair Kutsia is just because I think we all fucking hate that man. Like, I actually once he coached Namibia, and like I knew a couple of the Namibia national team members because they played here in the US. I was like, you know what, man? He's a good coach, just not a good Springbok coach.
Yeah.
Like some people, it's just not meant for them. And I think for him,
he did a good job at Stormers, mate. So
yeah, and I think the biggest thing, and I don't want to. I think what hindered him as a coach was the politics of being a Springbok coach. I think that hindered him greatly. He couldn't select the team he wanted. He had to select the team he was told to select. And
yeah, look, I mean, I don't think it's always just a case of that. It might be also that, but I think his style of rugby just didn't suit even the players at hand. Okay?
I think he wanted to know what doing now, but he didn't have the talent to do what we were doing. I think honestly, that's what I felt like he was trying.
No, 100%. But the thing is, if you go back in history, right? Like we played fucking amazing on our forwards, right? We started doing a 6-2 split. Okay.
Yeah.
A while later, everybody started doing a 6-2 split. Before that, nobody ever thought about doing a 6-2 split because of the risk.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, I think it was just a sign of the times. At that stage, New Zealand was playing fucking well. You know, they had something that to mimic after. Like, you want to play that game style because it's
Yeah.
beautiful rugby. It's quick pace, good flash, fucking quick hands. You know, all that type of stuff, right? All the nice things that you see in the highlight reels. Okay. And I guess what he wanted to do is he wanted to do that with the Springbok team. But the thing is, I think a lot of the stuff that he did was ahead of his time, where he didn't have the cattle in front yet. Yeah,
Yeah. That's
because
what I'm saying.
we
Wanted to do
took
what we
mostly
did.
like probably 70% of the players that he couldn't fucking get to a final with. Okay, and we made them into World Cup winners.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that's just sad. But I mean, that's just the thing. It's that I think he focused on the wrong things first, and he wanted to play like other people instead of finding our own identity. And that's what Australia is struggling with now. They don't have an identity. They don't really play Australian rugby. Who knows what they do at the moment? You know,
Yeah.
that's what New Zealand's struggling with. They don't really have. They struggle with their identity a little bit. You know, so I mean, and we went through that as well. So
I have to bring up something also while we're on the subject of New Zealand rugby. They had
yeah,
their NPC final Friday night, late Friday night here, and final play of the game, fucking scrum penalty, and it, like, for all the shit that we got,
yeah,
from John Kerwin, Jeff Wilson, all those guys. Look what the fuck they are now.
yeah.
They're a shittier version of what we were. So,
Yeah, look, I mean, like I said, I mean, for me, it's just a sign of the times. A lot of times, people just start playing the way everybody else is playing, right? I mean, there's a lot of teams out there that play defensively. Why? Because we started playing defensively. Okay, now they play that way. It's just the way it is. And now we're playing attacking rugby. Now all of a sudden, people are going to jump on the bandwagon again and try and play attacking rugby. It's just how it is. Like if you've got people like at the top, okay, other people start mimicking. And I'm not saying like France will mimic or, you know, like the top 5 teams would mimic, but I do believe like if you take number 5 down or 6 down, you know, up to like the 20, I think those teams they're going to like try and make some of that stuff
yeah.
part of their own game style, right? So, and I guess it's just going to be about you can execute it better at the end of the day. So we'll see.
Well, we have made it through our hour on a Sunday. I was going to ask you one last thing.
Yeah.
My background, do you know what that is?
Uh,
Wait here. I'm going to stand up so you can actually see it.
what does it say there?
Doesn't say anything. I mean, oh, it's
No, on that sign.
It's a motorway sign for I-35.
I-35. Okay.
You don't know what that is you're looking at?
I don't know what I'm looking at, but am I looking at where you stay, mate?
This is Dallas. I live in Denton.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
That, sir, is the grassy knoll.
What the fuck is that?
That's where John F. Kennedy was assassinated.
Oh shit. Okay.
That's the road. There's actually an X on the road where it happened. I don't know why I had this image. I just put it on there because I was like, hey, I'll just put it on for a background. But
okay.
I think I was talking to somebody else and I wanted to have a weird background for a conversation starter, and they asked
okay.
like the grassy knoll, and they're like, is that somebody driving through it? And I'm like, yeah, dude, it's a motorway from downtown to the freeway. And they're just like,
yeah.
Jesus Christ. I'm like, yeah, like you can walk. You can walk right there. If you go on the weekends, there's thousands of tourists and really crazy people.
Look, I got to be honest. Like that would not be a tourist attraction for somebody like myself.
Exactly. You can even go up in the museum that's above it. This is America, sir. This is America. That's all I really have to say. But yeah, I don't know why I had that as a background. But anyways,
Yeah.
we got another week. No Bach rugby, but it'll be a new month when we come back next week, and we'll be on the countdown officially.
Yeah.
Boys to come back to make us proud, to go out and absolutely fuck up
I'm just like,
Springbok U20 squad in Scotland.
yeah.
And hopefully we get to see somebody absolutely just table Finn Russell. Like, I just want to see him get
Ah,
fucked.
bro. Yeah, I want him to get folded, but you know who that is going to be. That's going to be Peter Steph the tackle.
Just foldable. I don't hate Finn Russell. Now, take in mind, it's not a hate thing. It's
Yeah.
just because, like, some people you just want to see knocked down a peg or two.
100%. But I mean, he's the game maker in that team, right?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
He is the game maker in that
He's
team.
the Lionel Messi of rugby, in his own words.
Yeah, 100%. So for me, that's why I want him to get fucking folded. That's the reason. Okay. If you're in our team, like playing against our team, I'm sure there's people that you want to fold. Okay.
Yeah.
Like some people you just want to fold because how aggressive they are and you wish you could put them on their ass. Like I'm pretty sure one of their players want to fold Eben. Okay. Just to make a point. Because when you're walking into a new school, okay, and you're afraid you're gonna get like fucked up, okay, who do you go for? You're going for the biggest bully and you want to try and put him in his place, right? So what I'm saying is, okay, I'm sure there's somebody that wants to do that to one of our players, right? With Scotland, that is the person you want to fold. You want to fold him and Duan van der Merwe. Those are the two people you want to fucking fold middle, like in the middle.
And I want scrum penalties against Pierce.
You want Duan van der Merwe to be tackled that way where his toes come up and touches himself on the forehead. Okay, so just a love tap, just
Hold
like
on.
that.
Let's
and of course you want Pierce One to be scrummed fucked up. You want that, okay? And our people can do it. So
just trying to use the sound effect here. Actually, hold on. Let me see. There we go. Here we go. Got the sound effects there, folks. But yeah, we will be back here same time next week. Come and hang out with us, ask questions, all that kind of stuff. And thank you guys again for tuning in. We had quite a few viewers at one point, and we do appreciate it. So
yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for chatting to us. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Munster Rugby TP. Thank you, Godfrey, Edward, Jefta. We appreciate you guys for popping by, and we really do. Thanks for chatting to us in the comments, and I hope you all have a blessed weekend further. And I mean, it's almost over for most of us. And have a blessed week, mate. Like, and everybody that's going to be watching us, drop a comment, mate. Like, say something. Like, if you feel like there's something you can add to, like maybe on our top 15, maybe you can fill up some of our blanks that we drew there. Like, yeah, just give us your thoughts.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys. Thanks. Bye.